What's up, everyone? It's Matt Merzick, and this is the final update to my quarter scale custom crossbones kit, but not really a kit review, but now it is a kit. So we went from getting a completely glued together piece that was supposed to be a kit to the factory telling me to boil everything in hot water to get the glue to come apart, to me breaking things to try to get it apart, to finally having a kit. So this has been a long process. This really isn't a rant. It won't be a rant. This will be really a really positive review for Carlos, for his customer service and his just diligence in making sure that I got what I ordered. So super huge props to Carlos. And also to the factory. And I was a little bitter towards the factory because they were telling me to boil it, and then we had a group chat between me and Carlos in the factory, and you know, I actually got it in 2 separate shipments, and I didn't actually get a whole entire new piece. There's a few things that they did not send to me again. I'll point those out simply because I had them from the other one. So I have a whole nother crossbones over here that's all glued together. It's got a little bit of damage from me trying to take it apart and stuff, but it's missing a few pieces. So I'm not sure. It's mine. It's mine to do what I want with, because they don't want me. The factory's not going to do anything with it. So I have this piece here. I may just leave it out to look at. I probably will never try to paint it because I have this now. But so I have this. I'll show you what the other piece is missing, because I took it from it to complete this kit. So initially I got a package in the mail, and I got crossbones himself, just crossbones. So I got the legs, the torso, the pouches, the arms, and all that stuff in the head. And I got like the backpack. And so I get the package. I'm like, hey Carlos, I'm missing like most of the kit. All I got is crossbones. Because we were going back and forth, and he sent me a picture of the kit, which all the pieces look kind of like laid out. I was like, oh yeah, that's what I should get. So I assumed I was getting an entirely new kit, base and everything, and this crossbones showed up. So I'm like, man, what's going on here? I'm missing like half the stuff still. So then he started a group chat with the factory, and she's like, well, you already have the base and you have all this. I go, well, yeah, but the base is glued together. I mean, there's pieces on the base that are glued together, so I need a new base too. So basically they sent me everything except for, they did not send me new pieces, like this piece of metal, the 2 pieces of wood. They did not send me new barbed wire or a new Captain America shield. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces I took from the one that was sent to me originally, that's all glued together. So these 6 pieces are from the first one. So and to be honest, if you watch the John Williams channel, Extreme Collectibles, he had a good point. The Captain America shield is way too big for this. It's really not quarter scale. I actually have, if I can pull it out, it's probably more like half scale. Hold on, I wasn't planning on pulling these out, but I got, if I can get to them without breaking my paint racks. Hold on. Keep them under here just because they fit perfectly, but then I can never get to them. I actually have 2 aluminum true quarter scale Captain America shields. So these are actually quarter scale, and these are just about the same size. These are just a hair smaller than what's on the Alpha 3 Captain America. So more than likely, whenever I paint this up, I'll use this guy. So what I'll probably do is leave this big guy with the first one, because it's really big. This is, and you look at the crossbones it covers up. This is really true quarter scale. I mean, this is kind of a cool piece. What I like is the detail on the inside, and the spun piece doesn't have the like the arm things, but those are pretty easy to scratch build. So I have these 2 aluminum shields. So I'll probably use that here and leave this with the first one. So so this is what I should have gotten the first time. This is the kit, and it's actually very, very good. So the quality is excellent. The fit is really good. If you follow me along, you see what crossbones looks like together. I really can't fit them together right now because he's a kid, and there's some balancing and things that won't happen until I start adding magnets and stuff to him. So like he won't even stand up on the base without me pinning him or gluing him or anything like that. So, and that was part of the reason why I think the kits got glued. And this is what the factory told me, is that they were instructed to glue it together for photos. Well, instead of just gluing one, they glued them all. And my buddy Floyd got a kit, and he got a kit, but I think he got one that had been glued together and then taken apart. So that maybe the factory there was able to get it apart after gluing. Mine, I wasn't going to try it. I wasn't going to force it anymore. So after, I think now it's going on 2 months now or whatever, since I first got this, 6 weeks or so, I finally got a full complete Crossbones kit, and this is what it should have looked like the first time. So let's come in and look at some of this. And we'll look at, because it really is a very nice piece. Like I said, I can't do any fitting together of this one because, you know, I need some magnets and stuff. So, just like I had mentioned in my very first video, I've got a playlist of this whole series. So here's the gun. This is how it breaks down in a kit. Now I do have just a teeny tiny little bit of damage on this piece, but I'm not going to make a stink about it right here. I can fix that pretty easily. I'm not. It looks like it's damaged. This looks like it's been damaged too, but then it's been primed over. So I'm not sure if that's a chip or whatever. It's an easy fix. So this is what the gun looks like, all broken down. And you know, collectors who don't build and paint, like, man, why would you want to deal with that? Well, as a builder painter, this is what we enjoy. We enjoy getting a box of pieces like this, painting everything and putting together, and then looking at our work when we're done. There's so much satisfaction to go from this to a painted piece. You have no idea. It's just a lot. And then what's even more satisfying when you show that piece off and other people really enjoy it. So, and then as someone who paints in themselves, I get my most enjoyment from when the collector gets the piece that they've bought from me. And they're like, man, this looks really good. It looks better than the photos. So that's where I get my enjoyment, really. I get enjoyment from the building and painting process, and I get the enjoyment from the person who's bought it in their collection and they really cherish it. Like I've always said this before, I'm a collector, but I'm more of a collector of kits, and I enjoy the building. I probably have more unpainted pieces on my shelf than I do painted, you know, even the small stuff. But so let's look at some of this quality. It's really good. So I will have to go through and add magnets where on the glued, the first one I got, it's all glued together. There's some magnets in there already. I'll have to go add some magnets here and there. So one of the things where I was misinformed, or I was wrong, I initially thought that all these pouches were separate from the torso. Well, they're not. They're part of the sculpt. It's all one piece. So I was wrong in that. And I see blue tack, yeah, because I had this all blue tack together earlier to see how it fit. So that's all part of the sculpt. So that's, you know, not the end of the deal. That's nothing the factory. That's just how the sculpt is. It's all sculpted individually, or sculpted as one piece and then cast in a molded piece. But very good detail, nice quality. Again, this is one of the better factories, you know, one of the best factories out there right now. They're doing a lot of stuff. Bushi collectors using this factory, so I would expect super high quality. But yeah, it looks really, really good. So, and then the head is really amazing. Fits perfectly. But see, if this was glued together, there's no way to be able to get paint in there, and then it had a strap going over the arms for the backpack. So eventually I will glue this together eventually. But for painting, it needs to be separate. Looks really good, no seam there at all. I'll show you one little area where we'll need a little bit of a work, just as a kit builder, things you have to deal with, and it's a little fitting issue, but it's really not an issue, it's just something we got to deal with as a kit builder. Here are the legs. Again, great texture, great quality in the casting. So when you build this as a kit builder, there's a big key here, and it's got a little bit of play in the way. So what you have to do is you kind of have to get them situated on the base. Then you have to get this on here without gluing it or pinning it or anything. And then you have to have the torso line up just right for the gun to pin in and the hands to line up. So that's part of the challenge with this piece, is make sure that the torso is on in a way that when the arms are put on and everything lines up with the gun and everything. So that's a little bit of a trick, but it does key in there pretty good. There's a little bit of a play for them to move around, but I think once it's all painted, I'll be able to just really, again, do what they did, glue it together, and it'll be a solid piece, and then it should line up. So it looks really good. Here are the boots. And now when I put them on the base right now and I try to sit them down and get the feet all lined up, there's a little bit of play in the ankles here. It'll have to do some putty work. And even on the painted one, or not the painted one, the glued one, his left foot doesn't sit really in the correct spot on the base. I think what they did is they glued this foot into place just based on the key, but not based on how it should be lined up on the base. Because if I just did what they did, is I glue it in where it fits on the key perfectly, then it doesn't sit flat on the base. So what I have to do is get his feet I'm actually going to add a magnet to this foot, so it lines up on the base. So I'll get the feet in place, and then I'll have to do a little bit of putty work, because when you get them on there and the feet are flat, there's a little bit of gap in the back here, and I'll try to show that to you. So a little bit of putty work I'll have to do. Not the end of the world. So great detail on those pieces. Here are the arms. So they sent me new hands. Initially they weren't going to send me this hand, because she's like, the fact she's like, where do you have that in the other kits? Like, yeah, but this part does not key into this arm because it's been glued and fitted for that arm. So this one now fits perfectly. Fits in there really good. And I'll get a magnet. So I have to add magnets. It looks like there's a magnet there. Oh, there's a magnet right here. It's a little small. So I'll add a magnet to that arm. So no big deal. And then here's the other arm. The fit is really, really good on this. Very nice fit. And then this hand already has, there's no magnet in this hand, but it doesn't need it. It'll just get glued in because it just slides right over the trigger for the gun. But looking good. So the gun, in its parts, is pretty plain. There's really nothing, not a whole lot of detail to it, but it's pretty impressive. So I mean, this doesn't look like this is casted in several pieces. If they did glue any of it together, and I'm not saying they did, this is easy to paint as is. Like, I wouldn't need all this all apart anyway. It's easy to paint this in one piece. If I want to do any detail painting, and I can do that with the brush pretty easily. What I did really want is the barrels separate, because I wanted to paint the barrels a different color than these guys, a slightly different metallic. I can go and do some heat treatment paint and stuff like that. Here are all the pouches. Again, you can see blue tack on them because I had them blue tacked together. But these all fit very, very well all over him. And they only fit in one spot. I guess you could make it fit if you really tried. But yeah, I had them all kind of blue tacked together so I could see what fit and what may not fit. Oh, that one goes there. This one goes here. But yeah, there's really, if there wasn't any blue tack in there, there wouldn't be a gap like you're seeing right now. And then these fit very well on the hip. Nice key, very odd shape, so it only fits in one spot, like that. It's got a grenade on his hip, comes in like this. This is where the gun key's into. So his hands are actually holding the gun. The key's into his leg for that. It's got nice big knee armor. Again, I've got some blue tack on here to kind of hold it in place because there's a little bit of play. And then again, like on the one that I have that's glued, this is glued into place, and this is separate, so now it's easier to paint and put on. Just like that, it fits perfectly. And then the gun and the holster again. So when I order a kit, this is what I expect. I expect all these pieces, because it makes it much easier to paint. It's more work if it's all one piece. That looks really good. And we've got the big pouch on the back, just like that. So that's everything everything that I just put on is what should have been taken apart initially. And then of course this will go on just like that. And then for his waist on here, he's got another grenade that keys in right there. It only fits one way. It's looking really, really sharp. So that's how that goes. And then you got the head. Okay, so now over here we have his backpack. And oh, another thing I took from the other kit which is not very easily duplicated, is the I guess it's not an ammo belt, but this the bullets that go from his gun to the backpack. So yeah, like these would be easy to recreate pretty simply. Scratch build. I've actually made barbed wire before on a much smaller scale. It actually looked better than this, but I put a lot more barbs in it. It took me forever. So I took this from the one that's all glued together too. There's magnets in here, but there's no magnets in his backpack or gun right now, so I have to add those. But that's a really nice detail piece. Backpack looks really, really nice. And then we got two pieces that key in there. These little guys, I'm not sure exactly what they are, but they're, again, they key in very specifically. There, and you see, again, this is just a blue tack from me dry fitting it earlier, just like that. Nice big. So on mine, I tried to take this off, and the pegs broke right here. So it actually looks like this. Looks like this may have broken off, and they glued it in the they fixed it in the factory. No big deal. They may have broken when they pulled it out of the mold. So that's all of Crossbone. So now the base. This is what the base should look like in the kit. So we got the pieces I showed you earlier. We got the piece of like steel. We have these pieces of wood that are kind of strewn about, and the pieces of barbed wire. Again, like I showed in my first video, this keys in right there. This just kind of lays in here. I may add a pin or something to give it a more specific spot. But my main gripes about the base when I got the first one was that the Hydro logo was glued onto the back part of the base. So with that being glued on, getting paint in this area and on the back side of the Hydro logo would have been impossible. There's just no way to do it. Maybe someone can figure that out, but I don't want to deal with it. And it fits perfectly, just like that. Uh-oh. Oh no! Bumblebee. Ah. Bumblebee fell. Hopefully it didn't break them. The A3 Bumblebee fell. Ah, crap. Alrighty. Yeah, the door's broke. Alright, I gotta fix him later. Son of a bitch. That pisses me off. Alright, well, I gotta deal with that. I'll deal with that after this video. Yay for me. I just shook the table too much. Alright, so the steel, again, comes through the back here. Like this. And then the shield that comes with it rests up here. Now it's a really kind of wonky fit. I wasn't able to get it. Actually, that fits better than the other one did. It's really hard to kind of get it to stay. That one stayed pretty good. And then my other major thing was the helmet or the head on the fallen soldier had been really hard to paint because it was all glued together. So now we have his helmet separate. So now we have a separate helmet, head, and chin strap. So now I can paint all the flesh tones and everything on him, paint all these pieces separately, put them together, and then put them in. Just like that. Fits perfectly. And then we have his hand. This was glued in. Well, everything was glued in, you guys know that. And then the knife fits in, just like that. Okay, so that's the base. The Hydro logo won't stay on right now. It needs to be pinned or a nice big magnet. Oops, my light's in the way. So yeah, nice big key, and it will fit in just like that, but it won't stay right now. It'll fall if I let go, just like that. So there you go. So there's the Crossbones kit. That is now really a kit review. Before it was a Crossbones kit that really isn't a kit review, but now it's a Crossbones kit that really is a kit review, and it's very nice. So yeah, I just gotta figure out what to do with this other one that I have where it's gonna have some pieces missing. So I'm not sure if anyone would be interested in having it or not, but there you go. Not to fix my my Bumblebee that I broke. I'm very sad about that because he's really cool with the little mounts on the door broke. So, all right. So there you go. So huge shout out to Carlos, man. He, if you guys ever want to buy anything from him, don't give it a second thought. Super awesome customer service. Really busted his butt to make sure I got what I ordered. And all in all, the factory came through in the end. Again, in the end, I didn't get a whole new brand new piece, and I really didn't need a whole new brand new piece, but they did send me all the pieces that I absolutely required in order to have a kit. So that's all I can't ask for more than that, really. So, but there you go. There's my final take on the quarter scale Crossbones kit that's not really a kit, but now is a kit review. It's really nice. So, as always, thanks for watching. I'm Rosic. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye.